A very quick way to meal prep or plan is to boil chickpeas so we have some left over. Every time I make a chickpea curry, I leave some extra boiled chickpeas in the fridge. What do I do with them? I make a very quick and simple salad. It goes well as a side dish and adds that touch of protein that may be missing in the main meal. Every time we are meal prepping, the idea is to make things to save time in such a way that even with less effort, we can get more results. Having a ton of chickpeas or boiled chickpeas at hand really helps with a lot of recipes. This dish is extremely tangy and juicy with lots of lemon juice, a ton of vegetables, a little bit of black salt, which is my secret thing here, and some gochugaru. I've used Korean chili powder, but you can use just normal chili powder as well. Often when I'm thinking of making something in a rush and I don't want to be actively cooking, this is the recipe I go for. I'm going to be using some pre-boiled potatoes, which is another thing that I always keep as part of my meal prep. To this, I'm adding freshly crushed ginger and finely chopped green chillies. You can cook the entire mixture if you don't want the flavor of ginger to be too prominent, so that way it becomes milder. Now to this I'm adding my own Parantha Masala or a spice blend that I have made in another video, and along with that a few other spices mentioned below. Today I'm going to be slicing off the edges of the bread, but you can keep them if you don't mind them. Now the idea is to dunk the bread slices very quickly in water and then squeeze out all of the excess water. This helps us shape the bread as we like. We are going to be filling in the boiled potato mixture and then making the entire thing into a roll format, trying to seal all the edges as much as we can. Often people like to deep fry these rolls and they taste amazing that ways. If you are going to do that, make sure the bread is sealed well. Using one thing in two different meals is something that saves a lot of time during the week. I made this potato mixture in a larger batch and I'm going to store the remaining in the fridge to be used later as a stuffing for sandwiches or even stuffed parathas. So that is the idea and the key to saving time and effort. We are simply going to be brushing some oil on top of all the bread rolls and be liberal with the oil here since we are air frying it anyways. We are then going to be placing them in a thoroughly preheated air fryer. I am also applying a little coat of oil on the bottom of the tray. Before bringing them out, I did apply a little more oil once in between the cooking or the air frying process. Once I was satisfied with the color, they were good to go.
Yes, what goes up will come down. Yes, what goes up will come down. What goes up will come down. Yes, what goes up.
Meanwhile, we are going to quickly whip up a recipe that I like to keep ready in the fridge as part of my weekly meal prep. Using this hung yogurt, we are going to add powdered sugar, cardamom powder and a touch of milk powder, which is optional but it makes it tastier. After mixing this thoroughly, the key is to bring it together nicely. This uses hung yogurt. Again, you can simply put your yogurt into a strainer and leave it overnight for it to become thick. I've also shown how I do it exactly in a previous video. On top of it, I'm using some saffron water, which is again optional. Now this is a very simple and very easy dessert recipe is what I like to call it. The sweetness level is much lower, at least I've kept it lower. You can combine it as a side dish or have it with your rotis.
You should hurry up and seal the deal.
I'm going to be dry roasting some spices for only about 30 seconds and then making a powder. I forgot to add red chillies, so that goes in too. Apart from that, there is this other blend that we are going to be making. This is a paste for a white curry base, and this paste is what makes this recipe stand apart and so tasty. Some dishes that take you back into your younger memories, this is one such dish. My husband said while I was cooking that the smell from this dish made him remember his grandmother, and the aroma was similar to what she used to cook for him back in the days. Nothing better than that, right? On the side, we will quickly saute the pre-blanched cauliflower florets. Whenever we are trying to saute the cauliflower, just add a hint of salt at that point, also so that they don't turn out to be extremely bland. This paste is the main curry base and it tastes immensely delicious. We are going to be roasting this thoroughly, and within no time you will notice that it starts to come together and starts releasing oil. After adding the spice blend that we made earlier to this paste, we are also going to add the cauliflower florets and mix it in a little. We will add water. The amount of water will depend on how thick or thin you want the consistency to be at the end. Remember that after cooking this a little, the water will gradually thicken on its own. Cover this and let it cook until the cauliflower is completely done. Alongside all the main things, I quickly also like to transfer some of the drinks. This time it was coconut water for this week and milk, which is a regular thing. The idea is that when things are visible, we are more likely to consume them on time, which is why I like to shift everything and keep it in the fridge. At the same time, I'm also quickly checking the nuts that were in the fridge and refilling whatever I can. I did this during the week, and while doing it I realized that my stock was really low and didn't have much left to be added back. I'm showing nuts because I soak them and have them every morning. It's considered to be good for health, I believe.
Like dust in the wind, or the talk of the town that we are living in. Well, I don't know. How could I know what lies ahead of me? Am I part of?
The biggest trick that I often use when I'm planning meals for the week is to use one ingredient in two different ways. Like I mentioned, we use chickpeas to make chickpea salad, but also make a chickpea curry with it. We're going to be using brinjal or aubergine for two different recipes. That way there is less chopping involved and you get a variety to have during the week. Slice the aubergines the way I did and quickly saute them in some oil. The sauteing doesn't take much time, you just have to do it for about 2 minutes.
Waits them when it all ends, but I don't know what will happen to me.
Meanwhile, coming back to our first recipe that was on the hob, after adding paneer chunks to it towards the end, we are going to mix it well, and you can notice that after cooking for a while, the curry has dried out and the consistency has reduced a bit. This one you can also keep it a little on the runnier side, and that tastes amazing as well. Now it's time to serve it along with some chili oil if you like, or some ghee on top to finish it off. Coming back to our aubergine recipe, after sauteing the aubergine pieces, we will now do the same with potato slices as well. The idea is to get them slightly brownish in color, not a lot. Like I mentioned earlier, we don't want to overdo this, so it just takes about 2 minutes. These are basically dried lentil fritters that are available in grocery stores back in India. They can be added to enhance the flavor and texture to a lot of dishes. They basically absorb all the curry. To some hot mustard oil, I am adding a 5 spice blend called Panch Foran, which will be the main flavoring agent. I really like it. It makes the recipe taste absolutely different and new. We are going to add back the potatoes and brinjal slices. We are going to add a few powdered spices as well and bring the whole thing together. Now this recipe is good because it doesn't need any chopped onions or tomatoes to form the curry base, as you saw. The curry will be very runny and thin in consistency, so it goes really well with rice. It's a very simple and humble recipe and the flavors are delicious. We're going to be adding hot water to this, cover it and cook for a while. Now this part is optional, but you can make a slurry of about 2 teaspoons of all-purpose flour or whole wheat flour and add it to the gravy if you want to have a little bit of body. Adding chopped coriander, don't skip this, it really tastes well. And then in the end topping it with some garam masala. This recipe tastes best when it's served piping hot. This was another thing that I made during the week and I decided to add it to this video as well. I make smaller portions of chia pudding with any fruit of my choice. I soak chia in coconut milk overnight. The next day when it has swelled up, I add a sweetener like honey or maple syrup to it and layer it with puree of any fruit that may be available. I make these smaller portions and put them in the fridge. I don't add fresh fruit at that point, but I add it when I'm consuming. This is another way to have some variety in your meals during the week. In fact, this is something you can pull out when you're hungry in the middle of meals, so it acts as a mini meal as well.
We'll be scattered in the wind.
Now for this time saving dish, I won't call it like a main dish but rather a side dish that complements any Indian meal. We are going to be cutting out discs from a whole brinjal and coating them with a little bit of oil. Mustard oil works really well over here. On top of that, we'll make a spice blend. You can directly add the spices on top of the discs as well. They are really basic like salt, red chili powder, coriander powder, and a touch of chaat masala. Having such side dishes ready in the fridge is a great way to make your overall weekly meals a bit more interesting. They don't even take much time to whip up. Again, we used one vegetable to make two different things, which is a great way to save time during the weekly meal preps. Make sure everything is coated well. You can use a spoon or your hands will do the best job. You can marinate the discs properly with this mixture. Now cook the discs from both the sides by covering the pan each time and don't overdo it, they cook really fast. And in the end you will have for yourself really soft and juicy aubergine discs. I like to store some of these dishes in the fridge if I feel the need, and some I consume that very day. Something like the tangy aubergine discs we made earlier, I make a bigger batch and take it alongside my main meals. The yogurt dessert too can be had over the week at different point of times. That way you won't find yourself ordering dessert from outside. So those were some of the ideas for this week. Let me know how you liked them. Until next time, here's Home Gupshup signing off.